Yeah, you want to know what the secret is to winning an argument with them? You just slap them down. You slap them down. They are little. They don't need to be talking up to you. If you don't slap them down when they're little, they're going to grow up thinking that they're the boss of you.
Negotiation. Absolutely negotiate every point. Know what you're going to give, know what you're going to take, and negotiate like hell with that little thing. Welcome back to She Said, She Said. I am Pam Pryor. I am a CFO, speaker, author, origami expert, and I balance the books at our house.
Deb Reinhardt, corporate executive coach, and most of the time I balance Pam.
Yes, indeed.
Most of the time.
And you may notice the lighting's a little different today. We had a catastrophe over the last week.
We did.
First world problem, to be fair.
Yes.
But Verizon Wireless went out one day and just didn't come. Well, it came back.
It came back.
But in our house, it only partially came back because we have some very weird configuration.
We have a mesh network.
It
decided to go down.
There are words.
It died.
It died, and
it died.
We didn't know it died because when we
for days we didn't know it died
because we contacted Verizon,
and they kept saying there's a service outage. It's going to be restored by 2 tomorrow. Mm-hmm. By 2 tomorrow. By 2 for 5 days. It'll be restored by 2 tomorrow. Yeah.
Which clearly, we were listening to a recording.
Till I finally and it's still texting me. It texted me again this morning. So I called Verizon and said, I've got this problem, and she helped me troubleshoot it. And sure enough, it was our mesh. Our mesh died. So here's the tricky thing, people. You think you're really cool because I set up the mesh network. We gave it a fabulous name, and we gave it a password that worked brilliantly for our family. Unfortunately, Verizon is unable to recreate that same password. So while we could put our new network, we could put our name on the Verizon network instead of on the mesh. I know I'm losing everything. Anyway, all of it goes to say, we have a really smart house. Everything is connected to the network. So when the network changes, some things just don't want to come back up.
Right. This is my point. So remember those old mechanical light switches that used to be on the wall? All of ours are
So go ahead and get yourself light switches. These are the only lights that are causing me problems. These are the only ones.
They are, because we can't control them anymore.
Because they don't run through the hub.
They're gone. They're gone. So anyway, if you see
we're gonna fix
issues,
it.
You know what?
We're gonna fix it.
Speaking of things going wrong, we had our friend spend the last couple nights, and she was going to the airport this morning.
Yes.
And you said, "Hi, Trish. Shout out to Trish. Hope your trip was a good one."
I'm sure it was.
And Deb says, as she's running out the door, now she doesn't live here. She lives in State College. Deb says, "Oh, do you have your license?" And she went, "Ah."
Yeah.
She was heading to the airport to catch a flight. Luckily,
she did.
She had it.
She did.
It reminded me of 2 small travel glitches that we've had, both my fault.
Yes.
And
I love that. Say it again. Both what?
One of them was me well, they both were me. Mm-hmm. But one story you can tell from your perspective, and then I'll tell the other one from my perspective. So go ahead and tell the first one, because you were involved in the first one.
I was involved. I was involved.
I
was kind of involved in both, but passively involved in the first one. Anyway, so my wife was going on a business trip, and she was late, and there was traffic.
Wasn't late. We
wouldn't have been right, but it was tight on time, because she gets, I don't know, half of the way down
all the way down,
all the way to the airport.
We are pulled up in front of the airport.
And she looks for the first time.
Do you have your license?
And the answer to that question, does she have her license? Big fat no. Now, we live probably 40 minutes from the airport.
At least.
So I get the phone call that says, "Can you bring me my license?" I'm like, "Where are you?" She's like, "I'm at the airport." I'm like, "What?" So sure enough, she convinces the driver.
He volunteered.
All right, he volunteered. Okay.
We can meet her halfway.
So they started driving north, and I started driving south. And we met in the middle.
In a
parking lot. With just enough time for me to throw the license out the window so you could pick it up and go.
I it, and off we went. And we made it in plenty of time.
It was fabulous. That was a fabulous
story.
Yeah.
And the dogs know it.
Yeah, what's the moral to the story?
The moral to this story is nobody can ever give me crap anymore for going as early as I go. So the way that I plan to get to the airport is we say we have a flight time is 9 a.m.
No.
So you allow 2 hours once you get there, but I don't really worry about that for domestic flights. It's like you can allow an hour, but I allow an hour prior to boarding. So if it's a 9 o'clock flight, it could board as early as 20 of 9. So let's call that 8:30. So we know we want to be there an hour before 8:30, which is 7:30. So then I say, okay, but we might have trouble getting through security. So let's pack on a half hour. So then it's 7 we need to get there. And then we say, okay, on a normal day, it's 45 minutes to get to the airport. So
but what if there's an accident on 95?
Or we want to leave by 6:15. But then I say, yikes, there could be an accident on 95. So let's allow an extra half an hour. So now we're leaving at 5:45. And then it's like, well, let's just put a buffer on and leave at 5:30. So for a 9 o'clock flight, we'll leave the house at 5:30. And then we get to the airport. But here's the thing.
I don't do that when I travel alone.
We get to the airport, calm, cool, collected, no matter how long.
Bored out of our gourds, sitting at the airport.
No matter, you always read. You read if you were home. So you just read there. I'd work if I were home, so I work there.
I'd have a comfortable chair.
It's called planning, and
it's ridiculous. It did save you that day. You know what would have really saved you that day? Just checking the house checking your wallet before you leave the house.
So the other story is actually, I didn't really make a mistake. I was a hero at first, but then it turned sour. So right after graduation at Westminster, after the graduation ceremony at Westminster, it wasn't Lindsay's graduation, but she was singing at the other graduation, somebody's graduation. So I had to pick her up in Princeton at Westminster and just run her and Maddie to the airport at Newark.
Yeah.
Because they were literally going to be hopping on a plane that night
to Italy.
And to Florence.
Singing in Florence
for
it was an opera program for for a couple weeks. 3 weeks.
So I'm like, cool, I'll remember the passport, grabbed the passport from here, took it with me to wait for them outside of graduation. I had the bags in the car. I mean, we were so prepared and ready. We get there, we start driving up to Newark, and we get about halfway there. And for whatever reason, thank God, Lindsay looked at the passport and she said, you gave me Mom's passport. And I said, I did not give you Mom's passport. She said, yeah, you did. I went, oh shit. Luckily again, because we got lucky that I could.
You got so lucky.
But if it had been any later, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who said, let's go straight from Westminster up to the airport. We were able to drive all the way home, grab the passport, get back to Newark in time.
Again.
They made it.
Again. Yes, you offered the buffer time, but you know what? You also could have checked the passport before you left the house.
I must have checked it. I mean, because we have 3 passports, they look exactly the same. I had to have opened it.
Yeah, I think my daughter looks a little different than I do.
I think somebody switched it out.
I gotta say, my passport picture is not the one that I'm really fond of, but it looks nothing like Lindsay.
I believe that you switched it out on me.
Nothing.
I really do. I swear.
Gray-haired lady versus my kid. Not happening.
Sailboat, but I can't remember.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
But yeah, so that was kind of
that was bad.
Glitchy.
That was bad.
Yeah, I've got to admit, but those are probably the only awful travel stories.
Travel stories. The one thing that I recall, so when we took do you remember when Lindsay was about 10, we went down to, we went with Sean and we went to Puerto Rico?
Yes.
It was a wonderful trip. Yep. So, but we had this dream that we were going to land in Puerto Rico and we'd be sitting on white beach and blue water. And where we stayed was rocky. There was no white beach.
We did not do our research.
The water was not like stellarly blue, but it was like kind of a bluey green. Yeah. It was a beautiful property. I will say, the property was fine, but it did not have a beach.
This is truly first world problem.
This is, but it rained, and so we decided we wanted to go out to a bioluminescent bay. There are very few of them in the world, and they're probably pretty endangered at this point. So Lindsay and I Well, no, why you didn't
I
come
couldn't get in
along?
a canoe because of my knee at the time.
Oh, that's it. You
Yeah.
couldn't get in the kayak. So Lindsay and I did, and it was a nighttime trip because it's bioluminescent. You got to see it at night. But it was raining, pouring rain.
But it
I
was
will
nice and
never
warm.
forget it. But here we were like kayaking in the dark. There's a lady with a lamp on her kayak, like way out ahead of us. We are in the dark of the mangrove trees, heading out to this bay. And I don't know, we kept steering into the trees. We were getting stuck in the trees. It was so incredibly frustrating. I'm like, Lizzie, go to the left. She's like, I'm going to the left. Then finally we get out there, right? And it's not like it's a beautiful like night, but what you saw because of
Was it cool?
it ended up being cool. So even though it was pouring down rain, we were soaking wet.
And how far did you have to paddle?
We paddled a ways.
Okay.
It was a ways.
You were gone a long time, I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was happy
But
to sleep when you came home.
the raindrops, as the raindrops were hitting the bay, like it would excite the bioluminescence. So you just saw these little pops of light. It was really, it was very cool.
So
it was
ended
very,
up being
very cool.
well
And
worth
it ended up being good.
But a little wet.
But that was okay. That was one. Then on that same trip, again, you did not come. Lindsay and I did horseback riding in the rainforest. Lindsay gets on a horse that decides it's going to start cantering up the mountain. Oh yeah,
bad horse experiences.
She has had bad horse experiences.
She's not scared to death of them.
Yeah. The guy he ripped past me on his horse so that he go up and grab the horse. Yeah. Oh, it was a treat. It was a treat and a half. Yeah.
That is funny.
So I don't know, like that, and then we took her snorkeling. Our daughter, who is afraid of fish. I wonder if she has any good memories other than eating at Raíces, which, by the way, if you're going to be in San Juan, Raíces, it's delicious food.
That is
but
so funny.
I wonder if she has any good memories from that trip at all.
I totally forgot about that last little piece.
Actually, I think she ended up enjoying the rainforest. Yeah. She really did.
It was a good trip. It was a really good trip. Well, for me, I didn't get a horse run out from under me or have to paddle miles in the rain. Yeah. There are benefits to having
that was a trip.
Wow, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know why I'm thinking about just things that go wrong today. But it brings to mind, I don't know why.
Oh no.
The horse cantering, I guess. I think we've told you Deb moves furniture a lot around here.
I do.
And
I like to move furniture. You get to see things from a different perspective. I really think there's value.
Yeah. And we may have told this story before, but it's interesting to me because I literally will go, we know that I batch clean things, right? And I batch do things. So Deb will start moving furniture. And she's like, nope, I'm going to do it. I'll do it all myself. Don't worry about it. I mean, not in a passive-aggressive way. Just truly, I'll do it all myself. And I'm like, I'll help you, but give me half an hour. Knowing full well in a half an hour it'll all be done. No,
that's right. That's right. Because if you put a time on it, that I'm just not going to wait. No.
So one time, there are two major incidents that I can think of. I think there were two different ones. But you just
I've had two.
Bed from upstairs to downstairs.
Yeah.
And she literally fell down the stairs with the bed, and the bed was in front of you, I guess.
It was in front of me. I ended up having to vault over it.
And it smashed the front door.
It dented a steel front door.
It did.
It did.
And it didn't hit you. You didn't get hurt.
I did not get hurt, but I did not get hurt because I was remarkably gymnastic on that day. I thought I could, you know what it was? I was in front of, I was in front of it. And I was just kind of trying to control a slow slide coming down the stairs. But then it just was too heavy and too fast, and I had to bail.
And you did.
And I did. I bailed out, and
it had a picture of you leaping, but
we had that dented.
That thing would have crushed you.
It would have. It would have been bad.
dented a steel door.
Yeah. That steel door, we
unscathed.
had to look at that dent for a long time
I
before we
was not gonna
replaced
replace the
it.
door. It was like a teaching moment.
It was a teaching many years is what it was.
And then we had to replace the door. But
Yeah.
then you would think, after really almost losing your life, pretty much, or becoming, maimed, that a lesson would have been learned.
Yeah.
And I guess you weren't actually doing anything totally
I was
stupid.
not. I was not.
But in
In
the
fairness
basement
to me,
one
I was
day,
not.
I'm upstairs and I hear, boom! I'm like, oh, shit, what was that? And the thing with Deb is, when there's a minor incident, she'll scream and yell. I mean, like, holy hell, you think the house is burning. Well, I've gotten used to that, and I know to ignore the really loud screams and yells. When there's quiet, I know something's up. So I'm like, are you okay? She's like, I'm all right. Like, in this tiny little voice, I'm like, uh-oh, something serious has happened now. I don't know if I've ever told you that's how
I don't even, honestly,
screaming, I ignore the quiet stuff.
that I know. I don't remember a whole lot about that incident.
Fell over, like it was stacked up against the wall, and it fell over and bopped you on the head.
A wooden bed frame.
And sure enough, you had a concussion, and sure enough, you weren't.
I was not right for months.
And then you still had trouble getting words, even like a year later.
Yeah, and now what I will say is, if I'm under a lot of stress, I still struggle verbally.
Struggle with the words.
Yeah.
And I remember when Mom got her concussion. She said
that was the most. That was so weird.
Yeah.
When she would, like, the neurologist would like hold up a pencil, and I knew what it was, and I knew what to do with it, but I could not come up with the word pencil.
And that's how it started. And then it became like other things. And I don't think it's any worse now than mine, which is just constant. But I have
old age.
I have a solution for that problem.
Really?
What I do is, when I'm thinking of something and I can't come up with the word, I don't actually grasp for the word. I just keep throwing descriptive words out about it. Mm-hmm. Until people come up with the word. And my family, the bonus children, family have gotten very good at that.
Yeah.
And like it's especially if I'm like thinking of a movie name or something, and I'll go, blonde, relatively short hair, red dress, scene with a couch in the corner, blah blah. And 9 times out of 10, y'all
we'll eventually get it.
Yeah.
It's extraordinarily frustrating.
Normal words.
I try to.
It's a game.
I just try to slow down. I find that if you just slow down, you can come up with the word. But I used to be much faster coming up with the words, even under stress.
Gotta keep rolling.
Yeah, no.
That is so funny. Well, speaking of games, do we have a game today?
We do.
Aha, right.
Oh, God.
By the way, before we jump to the game, if you've got a good vacation story or a good at-home renovation story, drop it in the chat or the comments, and we will pick it up and share, because these things always are funny, and we usually forget about them. Like, Wen had to remind us of 3 of them.
I don't hold those, like, traumatic memories in my mind.
Close to disasters. There we go.
Don't hold them. Go ahead, Wen. Give us the game. What's the game?
All right. So, our game today is called...
What's that noise?
It's the tap upstairs.
Oh, I thought it was a game.
No.
Okay.
Our game today is called Wrong Answers Only.
Oh.
And full disclosure, this is taken from a podcast.
Oh, cool.
The Distractable podcast.
Oh, nice.
One that I listened
Shout out to the Distractable.
Thank you. Maybe.
And the game is, I'm going to give you a list of advice questions.
Uh-huh.
And you, both answering, we're going to alternate who goes first.
Okay.
You're going to give me the worst answer.
Oh. The worst answer we can think of?
Yeah, so the wrong answer. Like, completely, it can be funny, it can be serious, it can be, like,
but just
really
wrong.
Short. Completely wrong.
Yeah, wrong.
Okay. Actually, that's good, because I make stuff up, so that's fun.
All the time. You should be very good at this game.
And the best answer,
the best wrong answer wins?
Gets a point.
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right,
okay.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. We'll start with Pam.
Yes.
Wrong answers only. Pam,
got it.
Why do humans have eyebrows?
Oh, I know that. That is because you need to collect dust and ensure that it doesn't fall down into your eyelashes and ruin your mascara.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, why do humans have eyebrows?
I think humans have eyebrows because it is a leftover from a time when we just had all hair on our face.
What, it forgot to shed off?
and from Years of struggling through the trauma.
So you wipe
We've
the hair off
wiped
your
the
forehead.
hair off of our foreheads, and we no longer have hair on our foreheads. We just have the brows.
Ooh.
Gotta say, I think Deb's was a little bit more creative.
I think Debs wins.
Yeah, Deb wins that
Dang,
one for
that's
sure.
pretty
Points
good.
for me.
That's pretty good.
All right, Deb, you're going first.
Okay.
Feel free to take a little bit of time on this one. But
Okay.
what do the letters in BLT sandwich stand for?
BLT sandwich.
Not take forever, just a little time.
I understand, but like I was so like it's like so streamed in my head that what a BLT
Yeah, that's
sandwich
hard.
is.
It's
It's hard.
3 random words, BLT.
Wow, that's hard.
Big loogie and tomatoes.
Ew, gross.
Tomatoes.
You used tomato. Okay, BLT. I actually needed a minute. I thought I had one, but I don't.
Yeah, you should have come up with it. I gave you a lot of time.
I think I can beat big loogie tomato. Jeez. Let's go with beef. Leek.
Yeah, come on. Piece of cake.
What's another food that starts with T?
Doesn't have to be food.
I know. What's a thing that starts with T? beef leek trauma. A beef leek trauma sandwich. Beef
What?
and leek are having trauma.
While I do like the trauma sandwich, I think Big Loogie
Might win.
Is
win.
gross enough.
However, you did say tomato.
I did.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
didn't.
she's
It didn't say I
disqualified.
can't.
I
It
think
didn't
you're
say I
automatic
can't use
point.
tomato.
But it's not quite as creative as I was hoping.
Automatic point.
So Pam gets the point.
Oh no!
Pam, you're starting this time.
Such
Okay, I'm ready.
Hilariously.
Oh no.
So ridiculous.
What is cryptocurrency?
Oh, that is so easy. Cryptocurrency is a way for cryptomaniacs to get money without having to steal it.
You mean kleptomaniacs, Pam?
I mean cryptomaniacs.
Cryptocurrency is another word for the inheritance that you get from dead people
From the crypt.
from the crypt.
That's pretty good.
I like Deb's answer. Pam,
Yeah.
yours was a little bit too close to the truth. Because they're not stealing, right?
No, they're not
Cryptocurrency
stealing.
is...
Cryptocurrency is not stealing.
No.
I just I
I could tell you kleptomania
wanna
because
talk about-
because for some reason you went to kleptomania.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
I know cryptomania. I don't know.
Cryptomania. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
And then it fed into your dead people leaving stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Deb wins that. Dead.
Dead wins
Deb
again.
wins that one. All right, feel free to be as short or long-winded as
my.
you can with this one, Deb.
Mm-hmm.
How do you gracefully exit a conversation you don't want to be a part of anymore?
Okay, so if you're ever in a conversation and you really don't want to be a part of it anymore, you simply look at the other person and say, I've been looking at you all day, and it really disgusts me to continue to look at you. So I'm out of here, and you walk away.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So the question is, what's the most creative way?
Sure.
So a bad answer is a very uncreative way? Or am I
No, a bad-
overthinking it?
You're
just-
overthinking it.
Yes, you are.
If someone asks you, how do you get out of a conversation you don't want to be anymore?
What
shouldn't you tell them?
What shouldn't you tell them?
What shouldn't I tell them? Okay.
Or
Pick your nose.
Fair.
That's also gross.
And then flick it on them.
And then flick it on them. Yes!
You can't take that part. That was from Francis.
I'm taking that
Maybe
part.
Francis gets a point for that one.
Pick your nose and flick it on them. The best advice I can give you.
Oh,
I don't know. Deb's really getting me with the, you're ugly. I can't look at you anymore.
you disgust me.
Disgust me.
I think Deb gets that one again.
Damn, she's wiping the floor with me.
It's all right. It's your time to redeem yourself.
Okay.
Pam. What should you do if you get lost hiking in the wilderness?
Oh. So the first thing you want to do is look to see which way the trees are leaning. And if they're whichever way they're leaning, you want to walk that way because the wind will be at your back and you'll get someplace faster than you would if you walked the other way. So regardless kind of where you are, you'll, because the wilderness ends somewhere, right? We know this. So if you follow the path of the tilting trees, you'll get out faster.
Follow the path of the tilting
Yes, you'll get
trees.
out faster.
There's the advice.
You're welcome. Whoever's lost in the wilderness, you're welcome.
All right. If you're, I would say, that's decent advice.
I know.
That's decent advice. If you're really lost in the wilderness and you really want to find your way out, I think what you start to do is you start to look on the ground. And when you start to see poop on the ground, follow the poop. And you will eventually, you might find a bear. I mean, a cave, right? And I would suggest like you go into the cave because clearly you're lost in the woods. You need to find some place to be able to take shelter. So take a shelter. Bears are so friendly. They're soft, they're furry, they're cuddly. Go in, hang out with the bear, and maybe if you're lucky, he'll give you a ride on his back so that you can get back to wherever you need to be.
I like that.
I think the answer
Especially
is
if it's
to
a polar bear.
find yourself a cuddly bear. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty creative again.
I like them both. I want to give Deb the point, but I also kind of wish that your answers were combined. So that the wind is pushing you towards the poop because the wind you'll smell it and then you'll go.
Oh, that could.
That's trees to the cave with the bear to cuddle.
Yeah.
I think
there you go.
To the cuddly bear.
Teamwork.
All right. Team point.
Teamwork is dream work.
All right, Pam.
Yes.
What is abstract art? And for the audio listeners, she held up her origami of something.
Her just twisted up
defined.
Piece of paper.
It's a.
What is it?
I don't know. But you have a better answer?
What is abstract art? Yeah. So I think the appropriate question is really who is abstract art. He used to go by Arthur, but now he prefers to just be called art. He's really kind of hard to define, people like look at him and some people see somebody that they really like and other people just really don't like him. It's a who, it's not a
That's
what.
a good one.
Yeah, Deb, I like your out of the box.
I gotta give you that one.
Although Pam, I did like the simple holding up the origami.
Because it really is.
It really is abstract.
Now I want to know who he is. I want to meet abstract art.
I think you should.
I gotta know.
Good TV show pitch.
It does sound like a good TV show pitch.
Meeting abstract art.
All right. Deb, you first. This is the last question I have.
Okay.
Ice cream cone.
Oh, is that what it is?
Hang on. Ish. Not
Like a
really, but
cone?
yeah.
It's just supposed to be a cone?
Shut up. Ask your question.
All right, 1 point deducted off the Pam. Deb, what is the secret to winning an argument with a toddler?
Yeah, you want to know what the secret is to winning an argument with them? You just slap them down. You slap them down. They are little. They don't need to be talking up to you. If you don't slap them down when they're little, they're going to grow up thinking that they're the boss of you.
Negotiation. Absolutely negotiate every point. Know what you're going to give. Know what you're going to take. And negotiate like hell with that little thing. You'll always win.
It's hard because, Pam, I feel like that's sort of the right answer.
Oh, God, no.
Right?
We never negotiate with a child.
When we had...
But we don't really slap them down either, in fairness.
My mother said to me, I guess, Lindsay, at one point, I was doing that. And my mother said, oh, never negotiate with that child. She will always win.
It's so true.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
That
so
really helped
true.
me become an inconsistent parent. My whole
You
negotiating theory. So it
got
really is
you
bad
did.
advice.
It really is not good
Although
advice.
she came out okay, so maybe I was right. You're thinking, no, Pam, I compensated.
Oh, there's a lot of compensation going on there, babe.
I love it. Yep, negotiate. That's I'm going with it. Who wins?
All right, so that one, I feel like, Tam, I feel like you get the point on that one because you did convince me.
And that was the last question, right?
And that was the
Which
last
So
is
not
actually
true.
worth 100 points.
Not quite.
A la Jimmy Fallon.
Not quite.
Fallon? Yeah. Kim Fallon.
I can't believe that you get them
I know, I always
confused.
do.
Sorry, Jimmys.
All right,
We
so
did it.
at the total end, we are
Tied.
Pam has 5 points, Deb with 6.
Oh, it's closer than I thought.
No, I knew you were close.
Congratulations. I thought you were way out in front.
Congratulations,
Deb.
Deb.
Thank you. Well done, Gabe.
I am-
Here is your certificate of winning.
Oh, certificate of terrible wisdom.
Agreed.
This is to certify Deb Reinhardt has successfully proven that logic, common sense, and good decision making are optional.
Yeah.
May your guidance never be followed, and your wisdom forever be questionable.
That's awesome. That's the best part of the whole game.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. Well, we hope you enjoyed that. We hope that you get and give all the bad advice you can handle. And subscribe. Tell us about your horrible vacations or little things that happen that you might
Or
want us
a
to
piece
share.
of terrible
Share the
advice that you
stories
wanted that you were. What is the worst piece of advice you've ever been
gotten.
given? I like that.
That's great. And that you followed. That'd be better.
Okay.
I love it. Well, you guys have a great week, and we will see you again
See ya.
the next one.